What's up, Cubers? Cube Voice is here, and welcome back to CubeCast, the podcast for all your Cuban needs. Let's get Cuban. Today we're going to be discussing Dian Sheng, a company that has not made any cubes for a very long time. So some of you may think that Dian Sheng is actually a new company, but Dian Sheng has been around since, from what I can tell, 2013. Dian Sheng, back then, didn't actually make speed cubes. Now, you might think they're new because you haven't heard of them. But let me stop you right there for a second, because
you're lying to yourself.
Dian Sheng has been around for years, but they didn't really make that many major releases. But recently, Dian Sheng made a return. They released a magnetic stickerless 2x2 through 5x5 as a comeback. Now, do I think that these cubes are going to be the best on the market? No, not at all. I know nowadays that we have a lot of cubes that are cheap and magnetic, like the RS3M 2020, so Dian Sheng might just be waiting their turn for a while. Before we go any farther, a quick history. Why is Dian Sheng coming back now? Well, I don't really know. I didn't bother interviewing anyone about why they made their return now, but, stuff like this can happen. You never know. Maybe now would be a great time to think about what Dian Sheng could do in the future to expand on how they've made a return. I don't really see Dian Sheng becoming a speed cube company or making any cubes that are really main-worthy within the next few months. It is totally possible that things should change. Considering that they didn't make any cubes for a very long time, I doubt that they're actually going to be able to return to their old status. Even then, they weren't that good, and I still don't think they're going to be good today. I really don't think that Dian Sheng could possibly dominate the market. Ultimately, if you think about it, Dian Sheng could actually be a good budget company. It is true that budget cubes are definitely a lot better than they were 5 years ago. Most of the budget cubes back then weren't really comparable to the flagships like the Dayan Zhanchi and the Moyu Aolong. But most of the budget cubes nowadays, if they're magnetic, they do actually fare pretty well in competitions. Have tons of new features like the elasticity settings being able to be adjusted on Moyu's cubes, the GES nuts in GAN's cubes, magnets, and it's just that with everything that's changed since Dian Sheng was last making cubes actively, I don't really think that they could become a company that could really just overthrow the entire market. Dian Sheng could be more of a budget company or focus on some side events like Square One or Scube. But in terms of the N-by-N events, I don't really think that they could really dominate those. I am willing, however, to see if they could dominate the side events. Side events definitely do have bigger leaps in their hardware advancements, but that's because these side events are less popular. Good hardware has to come around before many people start lowering the records down. And Dian Sheng is a company that I don't really think could really make main-worthy hardware at this point. It is totally possible that we could see a change. Dian Sheng could totally do something different. But why would you bet on it? I don't really think it's going to happen. So, in conclusion, with everything that's happened in the last 6 or 7 years since Dian Sheng was last actively making cubes, it's nice to see them make a return. Like, I didn't think they would return at all, but it is still nice that they came back. I don't really think that they could compete nowadays. They're more or less like the old companies nowadays that can't really compete. The ones like Lan, Wit Eden, MF8, Fangxi. They're the companies that don't really make main-worthy cubes. But anything could happen. However, Dian Sheng is a company that I doubt will ever catch up to the long-standing, dominating in companies of Chi, Dayan, Gan, and Moyu. So yeah, guys, that's really all I have for this episode of CubeCast. Until next time, keep on cubing.